you for joining us. Whether you're listening live or whether you have missed it and you are catching up later, everything we're about to discuss is totally relevant. I'm John Merriman, and I started Crown Lane a long time ago. And this is Chris.
It is Chris. You love throwing me in the deep end while I'm having a drink. Yes. We're so excited to have you guys here. It's a really big day for us, John.
Whoop. We haven't told anyone why.
We are launching our Crown Lane Live, and I think we'll dive a little bit more into what that is in a minute. But what's going on in your life, John?
My life personally? That was... Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what's going on in my life.
Them.
Well... Yeah, so I started the studio a long time ago, and then very recently I thought, do you know what? I need to learn how to run a business well. And so I thought, do you know what? I'm going to go to university and do a course. So I have, and I just finished it last week. So that's what I've been doing. I've been learning, and I've been getting better at knowing the things I don't know. And I think that's where I have learned the most. I've realized there's a lot of running a business that I didn't know. So especially in this brand new initiative that we're going to be launching today, which is Crown Lane Live. And we've been doing a lot of work in the background, so don't think this is just the start. But today's big step is all about how we get Crown Lane Live out into the world and what it really is. So over the next sort of 20 minutes, we'll hopefully cover everything and answer every question about Crown Lane Live that will be useful whether you're watching this now or whether you're tuning in some months in the future.
Absolutely. So...
Oh, you want me to ask about you?
I would love.
Let's make that look spontaneous. Oh no, this is live, so we can't do that cut thing that we normally do. Okay.
Start again.
So, Chris, just wondering, how are things with you?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked, John. I really appreciate how much you take an interest in my life. I'm actually in the middle of moving house, and it's amazing. Yeah, that's it. We can skip ahead. No. It's great. I'm actually moving.
Tell us about the house.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic space. Actually, we're moving in with some of our best friends, Thomas and Ariane. Thomas actually works at Metronome right next door, and Ariane and Thomas are great friends. They have been for a little while. I actually grew up with Ariane. That's a whole other story.
I did not know that.
Yeah. We went to the same secondary school. We were in the same form. Who knew?
Wow.
Two names ahead of me.
Thomas works in Metronome, which is our the coffee and event space next door, which we will come on to in a bit when we're talking about Crown Lane Live.
Plug. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, all of that said, really everything is sort of centered around this moment. Like you said, Crown Lane Live has sort of been a bit of a build-up behind the scenes for a lot of people not getting to see it. We've sort of talked about it. We've said a lot about it. And no one knows what it is, and they haven't heard it yet. But today's the day. Absolutely.
And Crown Lane's been sort of building for the last 17 years. And over that time, Crown Lane Live has been an initiative that I have really desperately wanted to do. But we haven't had all the pieces of the jigsaw all together at the same time. We've had bits of it and we've tried attempts at it. And now we have every last bit, bar one actually, which we'll come on to later. But the jigsaw is coming together to form something quite beautiful. So where we're sitting at the moment is the control room at Crown Lane, and many of you watching will have been here, and if you haven't, it's in a studio in South London, in Morden, right at the beginning of the Northern Line, the Underground, and right, Underground's only a couple of doors down. Come out the Underground, come in the front, and the front is Metronome, this beautiful event space and coffee shop during the day, which opens very early in the morning. And then we decided we wanted to use that space to host something quite special. And that is where Crown Lane Live comes in. But I'll just tell you a little bit first about the journey of Crown Lane over the last few years, because it's so different. So the room here, this wall here, which is no longer a wall, it's a window.
You smudged it.
I've just cleaned that. This room here was a store cupboard, and we changed it only just when the pandemic was hitting. And we turned that into our piano room. So we've got the piano over there, which is always wired up and always plugged straight in, even though it is an acoustic piano.
It was retuned today.
It was tuned today by Joe.
Mm.
Joe came and tuned it. So that is ready to go. And this room is also designed to be a podcast room. So normally this little podcast rig is in there and you can book it by the hour and just pop in and use it. But I see that there are some viewers who are quite a long way away, i.e. the other side of the world in Canada. And Alex, you can't use this, but I'll happily give you some tips online to get your podcast going because you should, because you're absolutely brilliant. So we built this room and then we use it during the day for recording and for vocals and lots of audio books and things like that all happening there. But other things here have changed as well. So the front, which used to be a coffee shop called Torero, became Metronome. And that pulled together the two businesses really beautifully and into one sort of cohesive unit, and we've got the right team. So as that jigsaw's come together to mean we can do these things, which we'll talk about very soon, we've got the right team. We've got the right team out front. So we're headed up by a wonderful guy called Tom, and he runs everything there, and he does a stunning job. Through to the team here, and just a few shout outs to the team here, just in case you ever have to meet them. We've got Lawrence, who runs, he's like the manager here, and he makes
Big
sure
boss.
everything, he's like big boss. We make sure
Legend.
everything goes well if Lawrence is involved. So Lawrence, thank you.
Love you.
And then Chris does a lot of the engineering and mixing.
I do. And it's been
most of the time.
Most of the time. Yeah. There's so much to it, and we had so much, quite a wide range of business that comes through, and that's, I think, wonderfully stretching. There's no one's ever told me that you can make a living just off doing radio dramas and voiceovers, but we've had some amazing artists and amazing people come through, and it's been a full journey. It's been great. I've loved it. Loved being part of the Jigsaw.
I think even since you started, the industry has changed.
Yeah.
And that's only in a year.
Yeah.
So it's always moving, and here we're trying to move with that as well.
Absolutely.
And rather than just trying to keep up, things like Crown Lane Live are our attempt at going, let's just grab this. Let's grab what we want to do and what we think the emerging artists of today need most from our experience, and let's build something really special.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what we're doing.
It's great.
So that's probably enough about the studio, the background, to take us to where we are today. Do you want to tell us what Crown Lane Live is?
I would love to. I've been so excited for this moment. Crown Lane Live is actually something that we've been brewing in the background. We've had some incredible artists come through, some of who you may know, John. I'm not sure, you might have been there for some of them. We've had, essentially what happens is the entire two businesses turns into one unified space. We have some incredible artists come to the studio to perform, and in essence it's a live performance, quite unique to a studio where we sort of get it in one take. We go through 3 to 5 songs, something like that. We're a bit flexible, but what we get at the end of it is essentially a live gig, which is also live streamed directly through to the cafe, which in the evening turns into a bar space, a fully licensed bar, which is just such a unique space for people to enjoy music, and music at a really high level. I mean, it's sort of at the tangent between sort of a tiny desk gig and a BBC Live Lounge. A BBC Live Lounge is the BBC Live Lounge. They've got all the bells and whistles, but there's kind of a lack of vibe because there's no one else there. There's just, it's the artists playing with each other, which is great, obviously. But then you've got on the other end of the spectrum sort of a tiny desk where you have to make a few compromises because it's live sound, and you've got everyone sort of gathered around a desk. And over here we kind of get the best of both worlds because it's a fully functioning live studio, which we are able to capture sort of audio at the highest quality, and at the same time send it through to next door where people are enjoying a drink and just resting on a Thursday. So it's an amazing initiative, and actually for the studio, I think it's a little bit of a, I guess, the cherry on the top, because we get to sort of showcase some of the people that come through here, all of who absolutely deserve the biggest spotlight. And I'm really glad that we get to do that.
We do. And the beautiful thing about Next Door is that it's all wired through. And yet Genelec, the sound system, the speaker system that we use here in the studio, they supported us when we put the sound system in there. So when you're listening and you're watching on an enormous screen, you can also hear it exactly as we're hearing it here in the studio. So for us in here, which is a brilliant evening, it's also just as special in there. And then I think one of my favourite parts of the night, which has become a bit of a tradition already, hasn't it? When the artists go out.
Yeah, and they get to actually see. I mean, some of them don't even see the people out there when they come in to record. So they come in, they get themselves set up. We do a sound check, get them all comfortable, run them through their songs, and at the very end of the night, we take them in through to next door, which happens to not be the end of the night, because then they get to have a drink with all these people who have been enjoying their gig. At sort of this amazing time happening together, and they get to sort of realize that at the same time, where it's sort of been two worlds separated, but then there's this moment where they come out and face everyone, and everyone has always been sort of super supportive, and the claps have been amazing, the cheers have been amazing, and the drinks have been amazing too.
It has been. It's been. I think for me, as they leave this room, because it's soundproof, it's totally soundproof, and they have to go through sort of 5 solid doors to get back out.
Yeah.
You hear the crowd just erupting as they go back
Yeah,
out. So
yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
really special moment.
Yeah, exactly. Even though it's like quite an intimate gig, you've got sort of the nearest and dearest here, and it's opened up to everyone, obviously. But we also have some of our locals who just love the space, and it's great to have them there as well. Who like people who absolutely love live music, and they get to see it at the best quality.
Totally. And then there's another part of the evening, so that we have the 3 or 4 or 5 songs. Once they've performed the songs, then we do a little interview with them, and they've taken a few different forms. And because this has been season 1, we've been experimenting with a few things. We did a game.
We did do a game.
That was good fun. I would like to bring that back.
Let's bring it back.
The game. Oh, I don't need to go into details about the game, but it's fun. It's fun. You'll have to watch them. In fact, they'll be going out soon, won't they?
They will be going out soon.
So we interview everybody, and we talk about their music, and we talk about their journey and little things like that, and we put that out as well. So we'll be putting all those out onto YouTube very soon. But the interviews, as well as being interesting and fun, they just give the performers just a chance to talk about their journey and also the difficult bits. We're not all for just going, yeah, music's really easy and really brilliant, and let's have all the heroes in here that have all seen major success. This is about the people who are slogging, the emerging artists that are finding things hard and going, okay, we've tried that didn't work. We've tried that didn't work. And now we're trying this, and this is working. Interesting, and telling us about that. So it's for me, that bit's really interesting. And then we do another little bit which we're holding back, so we're not putting these out yet, but they're called Talking Technical, and it's a gorgeous part of the evening, which is where sometimes the artists want to be involved and sometimes they don't, but where we look at an in depth at their rig. So we were a little bit nosy. We say, why have you got one of those? What are you doing with that?
They're always great sports about it.
They have been so far, yeah. But sometimes, like when someone's doing some really clever stuff with loops and things like that, it's fascinating to find out how that's worked.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then sometimes, why have we used a particular microphone? And we'll come onto the microphones in a bit.
Absolutely.
Why are we using some mics on some instruments, and sometimes we're using quite unusual microphones for different choices. And for me, to discuss that is really important, because when you watch these programs or you watch Tiny Desk or different things like that, you do get a really sort of great sound. I mean, the sound on Tiny Desk, stunning. Considering it's in an office.
Yeah.
But there's something that you can learn when you actually just go, and why have you done that?
Yeah. Which in a lot of places are not intentionally, but it feels like there's almost like a distance between you and what's going on, which is nice. It makes it nice and glossy, but when you're trying to recreate a lot of that stuff yourself, you never know why someone's doing why they're doing what they're doing. And yeah, I mean, I think sort of in the heart of what has made up Crown Lane Live, I think you've said it best. It's sort of creating this open studio feel that, again, is really unique, where people get to come and see things that they never really get to see. The have really open conversations with the artists, like you said, see the gear that they're using, ask them questions about it. There's so much that you can't observe and sort of intuitively figure out, and then just having someone there to talk through that stuff with is so valuable.
Totally.
And yeah,
We've made sure that the person at the center of all of this though remains the artist.
yeah.
So instead of us going, oh, this is what we want to do, or this is what we think we could make some money from, which isn't the motivation, I can assure you. It's what does the artist need? And so that has been a big conversation with an awful lot of artists over the years to come to the conclusion that the cost of recording is sometimes prohibitively expensive, and an artist has something that is so special to give that grants aren't available, that funding isn't available, they don't have somebody who can back them yet, and sometimes they just need that step up. So what we've created is something that means that the artist can get precision recording, they can get videography of a high level,
Yep.
but supported financially by us and the people that we'll come onto, which is our sponsors that have made this possible. And they also get to come away with content for all their social media that isn't just the run-of-the-mill normal content. It's very unique content to get an interview in a great space, but also to get music that's recorded beautifully. So I think for the artist, and I know from the feedback we've had from artists that have been through it so far, and as you know, not a single video has gone out yet. It's coming. How long have we got? 6 minutes.
6 minutes.
In 6 minutes' time, the first one of these videos will go out. So we said how it benefits the artist because they get all of this amazing resource, and they also get a unique experience for their fans. And I think for me, that's a huge thing. It's hard for an artist to keep going, oh, do you want to come to this gig? Oh, do you want to come to this when you're an emerging artist?
Yeah.
Even if you're an established artist, it's tiring. All of that doing the marketing. We do that for you.
Yeah.
We create a space here where on our website, crownlanestudio.co.uk/live, there are 3 little buttons. One for artists, how to apply for it. One for audience, how to find tickets for it. And one for students. And we'll have to get onto this very quickly because we're going to run out of time if not. How some of our sponsors have enabled young people to get involved with this as well. Should we go straight on to that?
Absolutely. Let's do that. So the Jack Lonergan Foundation, John, you've had some amazing conversations with them, and they've been here to see some of the lives as well, which is beautiful. Do you want to speak a bit more into them? And,
Absolutely.
We'll come into Sontronic.
So we've got a phenomenal foundation set up after the death of Jack Lonergan, who was a music teacher and somebody who really wanted to inspire people who didn't have opportunities in music. And his dad, an amazing man called Michael Lonergan, and his uncle John, they have teamed together to build only 18 months ago a foundation called the Jack Lonergan Foundation in his memory, to make sure that people still get opportunities in music who wouldn't have them before. And we have come up with a plan here that we take for every single Crown Lane Live. We take 2 young people who are with us in this room here from about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, something like that. They come in. Normally they've come straight after school. They come straight into here, and we teach them about setting up. Lighting.
We get them on everything. We actually get them on vision mixing. We've had some of the students holding the cameras. They really get to be a part of what's going on. We get them mixing the sound, explaining to them the entire step of every step of the way, why we're doing what we're doing. And I know for me at that age that would have been invaluable, and I'm glad we get to do that for people who wouldn't otherwise get the chance to sort of be a part of something this big. And see how that happens in quite an intense moment where something is live, where it's going out to a few people who get to see it live. So that it's an incredible experience for them, where they get to sort of get the buzz of it, enjoy every step of it, and also kind of have their hand held as well. So it's not like they're just doing this thing by themselves.
And again, they get to go out from here at the end, and they go out there, and they're different. They are different people every time, because they've gained in confidence hugely. They've made new friends, new relationships. to walk into a bar when you're only 15 or 16, that's not something you've done before. But to see them feeling like this is their place, they made something happen, it's a huge, huge benefit. And we are so grateful to the Jack Lonergan Foundation for making that happen.
Absolutely.
We have another sponsor who we are grateful for.
Yes, we do have Sontronics, who are an amazing mic manufacturing company. Yes, we are actually using Sontronics mics as we speak. These mics have been amazing. There's a little bit of a shout out that I think it was Camilla who was on one of these mics pretty recently, wasn't she?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Queen Consort, or just Queen now.
Yes.
Something like that.
Yes, yeah. The titles.
Not one of our ones, though.
No. We'll have it here
One
anytime. But yeah, we have an amazing relationship through Sontronics with Trevor and Lisa, who are good friends with yourself and have been for a
They're
little
quite
while.
like you as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you guys. It's been great to and have them come in as well to come in and see the space. So this hasn't just been like, sure, we'll just work together. Here's some things, get on with it. It's been them coming and seeing the space, having conversations with us, which has been, again, really unique because there's a partnership there, and they've been instrumental with bringing the results out of what has happened here as well. And we use their mics exclusively for our Crown Lane lives, and it's always been fantastic.
They've got absolutely gorgeous microphones, their whole range, and they look beautiful, and we sell them here in Metronome, so people who come in for coffee see them and think, man, they're stunning. They look great and they sound great. We've got to move on, though, because there is one further sponsor that I would like to say thank you for. And that might be you, because we have a gap. We've got our amazing education sponsor, the Jack Lonergan Foundation. We've got our amazing music sponsor, Sontronics, I've bought their stuff for the last 15 years. I love them and I love their mics. That is a match made in heaven. But we do have one final one for us to be able to do series 2. And season 2 starts, if we get that sponsor, we will start filming those in the next couple of months. And if we don't, we won't be able to. So we are looking for somebody who, if you know anyone who's like a corporate sponsor, somebody from an organization, you might know that they need to do their corporate social responsibility fund. And we would love you involved. So we do have one more space for that. I've just seen the time. It's 29 minutes past. And the final person that this benefits is you. Because running these Crown Lane lives gives you inspirational content, which is brilliant. But it also, if you live locally, you get a great night out.
Absolutely.
I think, how much is it?
We've run them from somewhere between £5 to £7, which is amazing for a live gig.
Absolutely.
With some of the greatest artists around right now.
So if you're local, come down. It's absolutely important that we build this community to support emerging artists. Yep. And this is our way of doing that. And I've just seen the clock has just hit 7:30. Yeah! So
7:30.
Where can people get the link to the first ever song
live on
the
our
first
YouTube
ever
channel?
Filmed? Yes. Where is it?
It is currently
we
live.
should have thought how we were going to do this
on our YouTube channel.
It's
we
live.
Need to celebrate.
How do we celebrate? Yay!
I think
I couldn't think of a better way. We are over the moon. Crown Lane Live has launched. Yay!
Click on the link in the chat. It's going out now.
Where? Yay! Yeah! We've done it. Sorry.
That's all right.
And there'll be more videos coming out soon. We've got loads of artists to come. We want you to be involved. Spread the word.
Great to have you. It's a good thing there aren't any electronics here.